The Rices have been married almost 60 years.
I don't say we stood each other that long.
This was supposed to be Leona and Tom's dream house.
I wanted to get away from the city water and get on well water, you know.
And then, after we got here, he ended up with cancer stomach.
So I'd have 3/4 of my upper stomach took out.
February of last year, their well was tested. DHHS said their water was safe. In October, DHHS reaffirmed that. Then in November, told them not to drink it.
I'd love to, you know, if it wasn't, I know it ain't gonna kill me.
For the last couple months, Duke Energy has been providing them dozens of gallons of water a week.
Time's empty, nothing's empty, so they go fast.
Duke says it is for peace of mind.
Peace of mind. What do I mean, peace of mind?
Yet again, DHHS may flip-flop on the Rices.
It's really confusing and it's really distressing.
Yeah, it takes a lot of water when you're cooking.
Duke says the state's decision is good news.
It's very unfortunate that it took the state nearly a year to provide this clarity for neighbors.
235 homes first told not to drink their water will now be told everything's fine. The water hasn't changed, but now it's okay to drink?
So the water hasn't changed, and the science hasn't changed. Honestly, it's just the state appears to be backing away from a public health-based approach.
There's another twist.
Yeah.
50 plus years ago, Tom Rice helped build the power plant.
Drilled the coal bin and then helped drill out there where the ice pond's at. You didn't know it was gonna kill me. Sometimes you take a bath, you get up in the morning, you run over work, you get your coffee pot down, and you run to the sink, and you say, oh, whoa, wait a minute. Can't use this.
Tom Rice survived stomach cancer.
See, me and her both getting up in age. You know, when you get 80 years old, they don't care.
Up the river from the Rices.
Grady and Roxy have filled a great void when I lost my 2 other dogs, Zoe and Rowdy.
They died from cancer.
That was hard.
Jerry Cruz Segarra also had 2 friends on her street die from cancer.
She was a good person.
Both families were told by the state not to drink their water.
I don't want the same thing to happen.
They believe coal ash from the Duke plant near their homes contaminated it.
They pretty much come all day.
Duke is rushing to remove coal ash from the Asheville power plant by 2020. They're taking some of it here to Cleveland County. Crews bury the ash in a lined landfill.
This will be the permanent storage.
The EPA calls coal ash industrial waste.
Safety is the top priority.
Physicians for Social Responsibility say it can contain toxins like arsenic, lead, and chromium. Last year in federal court, Duke admitted coal ash from the Asheville power plant contaminated groundwater, but it says it hasn't affected people's well water.
Our facilities are not impacting groundwater and are not impacting our neighbors' private wells.
Clean Water for North Carolina's Katie Hicks finds that hard to believe.
It's not an all or nothing picture. To say that it is just doesn't make any sense.
The state continues to investigate why water near coal ash ponds statewide is contaminated. 15 wells near the Asheville coal ash were tested. More than half revealed contaminants, including the Cruzes.
That's just obscene. I mean, that is negligent. And the Rices, I feel awful for them.
At first, the state told the Rices their water was safe. Then in November, they received a do not drink letter. Then again this past March, the state told them they could drink their water. Now, they're just confused and don't know if their water is safe.
No, I couldn't say. And you don't know if they're telling you the truth or not.
The Department of Health and Human Services took back do not drink orders for 234 other homes in North Carolina. DHHS says their water is fine under federal standards, which is true because there are no federal standards for what's in it. Most of those wells showed a known carcinogen called hexavalent chromium. The Rice's well tested at twice the state standard. DHHS used that standard when they told them not to drink their water.
But we always reserve the right, as we look around, see what our peers are doing, learn more, to change our mind. And that's not really that unusual in public health.
State Health Director Randall Williams says the state changed its mind because every other state but one follows the federal standards. He says a do not drink order should never have been issued.
We think the water is safe to drink with a very limited risk. Again, we're sitting out here in the sun today, and the sun is a genotoxic mutagen. So we recognize that, people have a risk.
Duke praised the do not drink reversals.
Did Duke push to have these orders reversed?
No.
It does not seem that impartial. It seems like the state is looking for ways to backtrack and maybe is getting a lot of pressure from Duke Energy that they don't want to take responsibility.
Empty bottles of water that were...
Duke has been providing the families bottled water.
I'm not satisfied. I just am not satisfied yet.
The Rices just want the peace of mind they moved here for.
I thought the man, old lady, sit on the porch bar and count all the greenback and look at the world.
Their view blocked by the power plant.
It's pretty frustrating.
Their water,
I can't say.
in Buncombe County.
I wouldn't drink it.
Aaron Adelson, News 13.
Well, a state health leader says Duke met with her and others to discuss do not drink recommendations. Mountain True's co-director Julie Mayfield says the deposition makes her wonder if state health leaders are putting politics before people's health. And it turns out this deposition was happening while we were in Raleigh interviewing the state health director.
I'm afraid it might frost yet.
In the last year, the state told the Rices to drink their water,
They said everything's fine.
then not to drink their water,
I'd love to, if it wasn't, I know it ain't gonna kill me.
then to drink their water.
Yeah, it's confusing.
The state told the Rices not to drink their water because it had twice the state standard of hexavalent chromium. Then the Department of Health and Human Services told them to drink their water because it was fine under federal standards. There are no federal standards for hexavalent chromium. We questioned State Health Director Randall Williams about the reversal.
Did Duke push to have these orders reversed?
No.
The same day we asked that question, DHHS state epidemiologist Dr. Megan Davies was being deposed for an ongoing lawsuit. Under oath, she said she took part in a phone conference and a meeting with Duke. Davies says Duke's main concerns were about the standards being used and the do not drink recommendations. Mountain True is part of the lawsuit. Director Julie Mayfield says she's not surprised DEQ and DHHS talked with Duke, but
if either politics or corporate influence is unduly influencing the decisions of those agencies and their experts, then we have a real problem.
a lawyer for the Southern Environmental Law Center questioned if Duke asked to have the do not drink advisories withdrawn. Davies said, "I don't remember." He said they didn't think they were reasonable, but I don't remember if he specifically asked us to do that.
The governor and the leaders at these agencies have a long way to go to convince us that we can trust them again.
Davies testified she wouldn't have told the 200-plus homes their water is safe.
In response to the deposition, a DHHS spokesperson said it is misleading. The Southern Environmental Law Center released partial information. And a spokesperson for Duke says they had appropriate conversations with regulators. The entire deposition is 184 pages. That's the same size as this book, so there's a lot in there we weren't able to talk about. But if you want to read the whole thing, it's posted on this story on WLOS.com. Live in Buncombe County, Aaron Adelson, News 13.